Or are we going to start with the things we liked or the things we didn't like?
Now that's the question of the day. What were your impressions going in?
I was like, hey, it's getting shit reviews, but maybe it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Also walked in with a similar mentality. I don't know how to start.
What do you think overall of the movie? Is that how you want to start?
All right,
Just so in general?
This is what I'm going to say. Venom as a movie, I know, is very, very average. It's like maybe a 5 out of 10. Like, as a movie, it's technically very bland and overproduced, and like some of the writing's not really there.
Some of the writing's non-existent.
Some stuff just happens for no reason, and the plot's a little all over the place. Although I guess the story was pretty tight, pretty airtight, I'd say. But in the same sense, where not to this extent, but Mortal Kombat is a bad movie, but I love watching Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Venom is a subpar movie, and I loved watching Venom.
Yeah, I had a very similar impression. I cannot
put... This is worse than all 3 of the MCU movies this year, but I liked watching it more than all 3 of them, including Infinity War.
No.
This was way more fun than Infinity War.
It's there. It's a... You know, it was a fun time, but it wasn't fun. Like, you know...
It tapped into that child in me who loves Venom. Yeah. Venom's one of my favorite fucking characters in, like, all of comics. I've always wanted... Ever since watching Spider-Man 3 in theaters when it was 2007, I've always wanted, like, the symbiote to crawl onto and attach me. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the wish fulfillment kind of thing. And in the movie, they play up that wish fulfillment in the way where it's like they heal him as long as you bond to the host correctly. Yeah. Venom does a lot to help you. And that, towards the end of the movie, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically, Venom has a little bit of an arc himself. So does Eddie, obviously, with the love story. But I think what they actually genuinely nailed, both on a technical and fan level, is the character of Eddie and Venom.
Yeah.
Them as a unit. I would love to see more Venom movies that are better than this one.
So we're going to talk about the things we didn't like first, because I want to talk about the stuff we liked afterwards.
Okay.
We're going to do it a little bit opposite this time.
Sure.
Of what we normally do.
Well, I literally called it a 5, so we can go either way. What didn't you like?
Again, I think every movie this year needs a soundtrack upgrade. Oh, yeah. Every movie is bad with the sound design.
Yeah, during regular scenes, whenever a character would say something that's like a little bit weird or a little bit dark,
like, and I'm like,
yeah, there'd be a little like bling sound effect, and it's like some kind of one guy with a violin and an orchestra going rink. Like, obviously that's what the movie producers want, but you don't need it. If you took it out of the scene, it'd get more tense and more dramatic.
Yep,
it'd work better.
Every single movie this year almost.
Yep,
barring like A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few...
Their soundtrack is
the movies that are great this year, you'll notice, don't have the overused music.
And the over music is to make you feel something, but that's a compensation for the fact that you're not feeling anything because the movie's bad.
Exactly. I agree completely.
That's a problem. I was just like, oh, great, it's going to be like this from the start of the movie. If the soundtrack's annoying, sit your fucking ass down because you're in for a hell of a time of disappointment.
Can I add a negative as well?
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. I got you.
Yeah. The CGI, it took me maybe 10 minutes to get my eyes adjusted to the symbiote in this world. Objectively, the CGI is almost finished. Like, it's competent, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
But when you immerse yourself in the movie, and again, this is like me talking about like the feeling I had watching this movie, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm buying it 100%.
Yep.
Like, if I look at it with a critical lens, obviously the CGI isn't... Like, look at Infinity War. It's like beautiful CGI, right?
The CG of Venom's like 90%. That being said, it should be 100%.
Should be 100%, right. I think this movie... Usually, blockbusters that are very heavy on CGI cost $200 million or $150. This cost $100 million. Now, I say $100 million.
No faith in it.
That's 50,000 million more times money than we'll ever see in our lives combined.
Roughly 10. The average human makes like $1.8 million in their whole life.
None of that matters. The point is, that's a Herculean amount of money.
Yes. Every movie does the fucking title card thing, and I complained about this last movie, and I'm going to complain about it again. Do you remember the scene at the beginning where they showed the Golden Gate Bridge and had the fucking balls to tell me it was San Francisco after showing me the Golden Gate Bridge? It's like, I know where the fuck it is. Please,
you know what's funny?
Stop this shit.
I've gotten to the point where I don't even read title cards. I don't care terribly where the characters are, because it's either city or not city. Because if it's a Marvel movie, odds are it's New York. And if it's not New York, the characters are going to go to New York. And if it's not, they're not going to go to New York. Who cares? It's a city. They're in a city. They're going to fight with buildings around.
All they need to do is show one thing to explain it, and that's it. Not a fucking title card. It's so lazy, and it makes me so mad.
More negatives?
Every other character's so shitty.
Really?
Oh my God.
Even the girlfriend?
The girlfriend sucked dick.
No, I like the girlfriend.
Her performance was... They didn't have any chemistry. I felt like they had no chemistry.
See, I disagree. I kind of liked their chemistry in the opening scenes, and I liked their repertoire during the movie. I liked after Eddie fucks his own life up, which, by the way, negative. Eddie fucked his own life up and then got sad that he fucked his own life up, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you're to blame. You know what I mean? Like, he goes up to her and he's like, my career's ruined, I'm nobody now, and it's like, yeah.
You did that.
You did that. You don't have anyone to blame, and you're mad at Carlton Drake because you fucked up your career?
Yeah.
I mean, you should be mad at Carlton Drake because he's fucking killing people, obviously. But at the same time, all of your problems are directly tied to that stunt that you pulled, and this is early movie, so it's not really spoilers, but that stunt that you pulled on air, and it's like, if you hadn't done that,
then
and I get
fine.
it, journalistic integrity and all that stuff, but your boss told you not to do that.
They did the Batman versus Superman thing with the journalistic integrity, but they did it bad. Which
Yeah.
is really saying something.
Mm-hmm. They did it worse than BVS, and BVS is not the gold standard for writing.
And fun fact, they did the Avengers, you're being greedy with the Earth thing, but also bad. The Infinity War thing.
How many villains in especially blockbusters are climate change crazy?
For the past few movies, like a few.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
You look at first Kingsman movie. That was his whole shtick. That was Samuel L. Jackson's.
Yeah, but
whole
it was
appeal.
good.
It was done well, but it's the same, like, humans are killing the planet, so let's kill
Yeah.
some people or whatever. Humans are killing the planet, so let's go invade another planet or whatever.
Humans are killing the planet. Symbiotes.
Bring all of the symbiotes to Earth. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Okay, well.
They always have this crazy radical solution for a problem that's...
And granted, one of them was not a human thing. It was a symbiote thing.
Symbiote thing, yeah. But still, that human... what do you think of the villain?
Negative. Rizamed's the least intimidating guy.
I would put him under a mild positive. I think
he doesn't he doesn't do bad. Like, I think he's actually decent, but he's not intimidating, and that's really weird.
I thought he was not terribly believable as a CEO. He looked like my age. And I know when he's going over his rep street, like, oh yeah, when you're 19 you did this, when you're 24 you made the company, but like, he looks like a baby. You know what I mean? And everyone around him is like 40. Do you know what I mean? Like all of his security officers, and he's like, you get me Eddie Brock right now. And it's like, you just deck him in the face.
He just told knockoff Francis from Deadpool to fucking catch Eddie Brock.
Oh yeah, knockoff Francis.
By the way, shitty character. Knockoff Francis was terrible.
I liked him in the context where he just served the purpose to have Venom destroy some people and just like show his power. I like that. Again, it's playing to the part of me that just like, oh my god, Venom is so fucking cool on screen. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for me to put a critical lens over things.
It's not hard for me to put a critical lens over that stuff, because
by all means, please
if it's real bad, it's real bad.
Yeah.
And that character was poo-poo. Rizamed being not intimidating is the negative, but Rizamed himself was not the negative.
I liked
He was
Rizamed.
actually pretty fun.
I think
some of his lines were delivered a little weird, but
he did the best with what he was given.
Yeah,
he was given a character that was it's not that the character didn't have motivation. It's a real motivation, but I just think I've seen that motivation too much.
Overplayed.
And, yeah, it's a little overplayed.
A lot of stuff in this movie is a little overplayed.
What did you think of... Okay, well, Venom does two things in this movie as far as fighting. He fights regular guys with guns, which is awesome, and then he fights Riot, which I think is awesome. What do you think of all of those scenes?
The Riot fight underwhelmed me a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Because Venom didn't do anything.
See, I disagree. I would argue that...
He, like, blocked with his shieldy move, and then, like, cut the ship in half and threw a few punches and ran away.
Well,
and that
pre-fight,
was
he was like, hey, Eddie, he's got shit you would not even believe.
Yeah, but why can't Venom do any of that stuff? I wanted Venom to
Riot's
do cool
a little
stuff.
bit bigger with spikes.
I wanted him... Well, Venom has the big move.
In Spider-Man Friend or Foe, yeah, the video game.
Yeah, but he has that in the comics.
Some comics. I mean, the tendrils are generally squiggly, not straight.
They didn't do any tendrily stuff, really, and I was upset.
They did some tendrily stuff. They
Not
really
enough.
alluded to it.
Not enough.
I could have used more tendrily stuff, I agree.
But
that third act fight with Riot,
it was fine.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't super love it, but I liked the... any part where the two symbiotes were attacking each other, I was into. Whenever the bodies would fall out of the symbiotes and it was a regular human fight, I was like, oh boy.
Rizamed fighting.
Rizamed versus Tom Hardy, the movie. I really paid to see this. What a great fucking experience.
This movie, and I'm going to make a small comparison. This movie felt like Upgrade, but shitty.
Oh my god, I love Upgrade.
Upgrade
this
was
movie
good.
Should have been as good as Upgrade. It should have been Upgrade. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Upgrade was
They even both have
fantastic.
almost Tom Hardy in them.
This one has Tom Hardy, and this one, the Upgrade has knockoff Tom Hardy.
I actually think Logan.
Oh yeah, Logan did great in that movie. I say that only because
I think Logan did better than Tom Hardy did in this movie.
I only say knockoff because he looks a little bit like him. That's not a knock.
He was super talented.
He's super good in that movie.
Yeah. Tom Hardy was okay. He was good, but not great. And I wanted him to be better.
I don't know. Again, it goes back to the whole, like, I enjoyed the corniness of, like, Eddie Brock just being this little meek-mannered guy who kind of talked like this. And I think that's another, like, actual British human trying to do an American accent where they talk like this, and all of the R's are overpronounced because they don't pronounce R's, so all of our R's have to be really accentuated. You know what I mean?
I think towards the end of the movie he did a lot better. Once you get to accepting of the symbiote thing, where you have that power, it's a lot cooler. But Tom Hardy doesn't do the meek guy very good. At first he does it just like fine, and it's like believable, but you're like, okay, maybe a different person should have been this. And at the end when he's like accepting, like, we are Venom, like, we have to do this, it's like, so it sounds like
you're in the same kind of boat where a lot of this movie just kind of whelmed you.
Yeah, it was pretty average, like exceedingly average, and that's really sad because I wanted it to be great, and it was very average.
Let's flip the script if you have any more negatives.
Any more negatives besides every other character besides like 3 being...
I'm going to start off with the positives. I've already said it, but Venom, every bit involving Venom, either the symbiote or Brock... Well, the symbiote and Brock together, anytime that they're on screen, interplaying with their dialogue and their scenes and everything. Whew! So good. The child in me jumped out.
I have a positive. Everything you just said was fucking true. Every time Venom... When he was climbing that building, like, boom!
Oh my God. I loved how it wasn't like... There wasn't a slow, dramatic sequence where he grabbed the building and hurled himself up. It was just like Eddie couldn't get inside, and he's like, "You want up? What did you say?"
That was the
funniest. And it just smash cut to him already hurtling himself. That was beautiful. You know what I mean?
Smash cuts are not my favorite thing.
I love smash cuts.
But when he was just climbing that... The car chase scene, at the beginning, it's like, all right, I'm not digging this so much. This is an average car chase scene. Yeah. And then when the Venom stuff started happening, I'm like...
I wasn't super into the car chase scene. I thought the car chase scene could have...
Big cut. A little bit.
Cut down a little bit, yeah. It felt like a lot of it was just Tom Hardy going, "Oh, I'm gonna die." Venom saves his life and he keeps driving, and it was that kind of looped like 5 or 6 times in a row.
That's why it needed to be cut. But at the same, that's why I didn't like the beginning because it was a lot of Tom Hardy going, "I'm gonna die." Ah.
See, I kind of like that because he's just a fuck who's like at that point.
Yeah, but I didn't need to know 7 times. I wanted to hear it like twice, and then once he realizes Venom saves him like twice, he'd be like, "Oh, cool, I'm not going to die. Let's fucking go."
I really liked how they kept both weaknesses of the symbiote, which is sound and fire.
100%. Yep. You have to do that.
Some versions just do sound or just do fire, but I like how they're
Spider-Man
true.
3 did both.
No, it just did sound.
No, it did the fire thing because they threw the pumpkin bomb at him to kill him.
Oh, good point. I didn't even think about that. All right. That wasn't even... Well, then again, that wasn't even happening until that moment. That was very not, like, set up at all.
They didn't set up the sound thing very much either.
No, they set up the sound thing
until the second they clanked together on the ground. It was 2 minutes before again.
Bell. Remember? Church bell scene.
Church bell scene good. Church bell scene good.
The Venom ooze effects in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3
are better than this movie's.
Looked better than this movie.
Remember in the MRI machine, and it's just like stupid flickering instead of like coming out. Oh, the coming out is so much better.
Yeah, a lot of Spider-Man 3 is technically better made than this movie.
Yeah, that's really sad.
But, I'm not going to lie.
This movie's not better than Spider-Man 3.
No, I was not going to say that. I enjoyed more of this movie than I enjoyed Spider-Man 3.
Well, yeah, you enjoy more of it, but like technically this movie is not better than Spider-Man 3.
Also, it goes without saying, Venom is a character. Topher Grace, get out of here. Yeah. This is Venom.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Venom that should have been the villain of Spider-Man 3.
Because he's
Can you imagine or a similar actor to Tom Hardy with this version of Venom in Spider-Man 3 as the villain, no Sandman?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been, like, fantastic?
It would have been cool.
Would have been the best fucking thing in the world. I feel like... I wish... They made this as a standalone movie because they didn't know if it was going to be in the MCU or not, or if they didn't know if it was going to branch into something else. So I like the aspect that it's just its own fucking movie. You know what I mean? I thought I wouldn't like it at first as far as like, oh, it doesn't start with Spider-Man, but like, I really like this anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it captures the character.
Really I would have still liked it if it was a Spider-Man thing. I would have probably liked it more because it would have tied in more and had more, coherency.
Would have been nice.
And then Riot wouldn't have been weird Riz Ahmed boy.
I liked what Riot Weird was Ahmed though. I like that in the corny aspect. You know what I mean?
The corny thing doesn't work for me 100% of the time.
Well, some things came across really stupid. Like when she played the sound while they were running up the thing, and she's like, "I told you I could fight ugly." Like, who are you talking to? There's no one in that room. That was just for the audience.
That was just for her.
I didn't like that. Was kind of stupid. but if you buy into this world, it's really entertaining.
Yeah.
As far as entertainment it delivers.
Oh yeah, it's
as far as a movie, it's
big dumb
fine.
fun movie, and that's fine. I like big dumb fun movie. That's not a bad thing.
What do you think out of 10?
Like an exceedingly average 5.
5? I'm sticking with my 5 too. I think
because it just didn't do anything. The parts that were great, but the parts that sucked really overwhelmed the parts that are great.
I didn't mind the parts that sucked as much because I was so roped in while watching it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a trick that Venom knows that, like, as a movie, knows that it's pulling on me, and it just kind of owns it.
I think that's what they planned on. They're like, we don't need to make a great movie because people are gonna like it.
Well, everyone wants to make a good movie. They go in, and then when the movie ends up not being good, they're like, all right, well, let's play up how fun and dumb it is.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make, like, millions of dollars, obviously.
Do you think that this is gonna get a sequel? I think they might need a little more days to look at profit to decide. As
far as what they need to, they probably need to make a little bit over $200 million for it to be, like, profitable. I think they're gonna make that back and then some. I think this movie's gonna make
4, 5,
between 4 and 5 is my guess.
Yeah,
4
or 5 is a decent estimate,
which is over double the budget, which isn't Marvel Cinematic Universe hit, but it's still like really profitable. I think that'll spawn a sequel.
Yeah.
And I think they'll switch directors because this director, after the movie was being put together, immediately signed on for Zombieland 2. You're gonna be like, oh hell yeah, I'll direct something else, and it's like, oh, so you mean to tell me that if this Venom isn't a hit, you're already like just getting off of it immediately? So
yeah, he didn't care.
It sounded like he kind of jumped ship at the end there.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't care very often, or very much rather.
Yeah. I'm not saying that is an indicator that like he didn't have faith in his own movie, but it's like it's a red flag.
It's just I think it's more of just a money thing for him then.
And honestly, I would like to see a different director because what I loved about this movie was everything involving Venom. As a character, they fucking nailed him. Like, oh my god, I'm so satisfied with how they portrayed Venom in this movie.
Yeah.
I love it to death. And if you can give me a director that makes really good movies and put this Venom in a better movie, I'm down. I'm done. Make Upgrade, but Venom.
Yeah.
Upgrade is just Venom. It's literally what it is.
All I thought of during this movie was Upgrade. Because the character interactions in Upgrade were great.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, like, the Upgrade guy wasn't as cool as Venom, but everything else about the movie was better. And I'm like, come on, really? No. And then this movie, I was like, man, this guy's so fucking cool. And then he'd like talk to other people, and I'd be like, I miss Upgrade. Mm-hmm. And it was like back and forth over and over.
Well,
like,
action,
this is great.
The action in Upgrade is genuinely spectacular.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The action in Venom
is fun, but dumb.
It's dumb fun. I enjoy both equally, but I give technical props to Upgrade, and I think Upgrade obviously is a much better movie than this. And I would rather rewatch Upgrade than Venom.
Post-credit scene. Go.
All right, this is a good way to end it. Cletus Cassidy, I was hyped going into that post-credit scene. I knew it was Cletus because Woody Harrelson wasn't in the movie, and he was confirmed in an undisclosed role, and we were like, oh, that's Carnage. It's gotta be Carnage. And, of course, he's in the fucking thing. I don't know. I think it kind of underwhelmed me.
It didn't underwhelm me. Because, one, he looks just fucking like him, which is
so creepy.
Nuts.
I loved Woody Harrelson in the role.
2, when he was writing Welcome Eddie in the Blood, I'm like, yeah, he's a crazy serial killer.
I love that little touch there.
Yeah.
But what was their conversation? So,
nothing.
Cletus Cassidy called in Eddie Brock to get an interview. But why?
He thought it could help him find more dead people that he killed.
More.
That's
Venom?
the only... Eddie being a reporter. Yeah.
He thinks Eddie can find...
No, like, the FBI only allowed it because he's in a max security.
Yep.
Because since he was like, I want an interview with this person specifically, he's like, maybe he'll tell him where more dead people are. He's killed a lot of people.
Why would Cletus Cassidy want the interview with him?
I don't know.
I didn't get that at all. I felt like either maybe like it was like a line of dialogue I missed or something, but like... I don't know why Cletus Cassidy called in Eddie Brock for an interview.
He might know.
And then Eddie shows up, and Cletus is just like... I'll be in part 2, and then it ends. Do you know what I mean?
So you want to be a Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
Literally, it was just like, I'll be in the sequel, I'm going to cause carnage. That's the line he said, I'm going to cause carnage. I don't know, I felt like that was very, like, Nick Fury showing up at the end of Iron Man.
I'm not going
to... You about the Avenger initiative. It was their version of that.
I'm not going to lie, though. Carnage gets me really excited at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I'm pumped to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage still.
He's a tiny, tenderly scary boy. That's all I want to see.
He looks like
so cool.
A rat, but like the skin is inverted. Do you know what I mean? With all the crazy tentacles.
And he has the tendrils and a huge mouth. His mouth is huge.
Yep. And he's
Venom's mouth, huge. Carnage mouth.
And he's completely red with the black detailing, and his hands are all black and big. Do you know what I mean? Like,
dude, he does this cool thing where he makes his hands. You know how Riot made his hands into like fucking pendulums?
Yep.
Like, yeah. Carnage does this real cool thing where he makes his hands like giant fucking fly swatters and just. Oh, it's so neat.
They really recreated a lot of Venom comic images from like him having the big bullet shield.
And, the
like,
bullet shield's cool.
To Riot having the claws out of nowhere. I loved anything Riot did as far as that goes.
He made like a scythe arm, and I'm like, ooh, please cut him in half with the scythe arm. I don't even care if I'm rooting for Venom. Cut him in half.
I really enjoyed how Venom as a character initially was okay with Riot's plan to bring all the symbiotes here. Like, that's just what's going to happen. And then he was like, actually, on second thought, I'm going to stay. You convinced me. This is fun as shit. I don't want to take over the world. This is fun.
Okay, did you like the twist of Venom being like, I think I'll just help? Because I thought it was
what do you mean
weird.
I think I'll just help?
Like, he's just like, ooh, bringing all the symbiotes here is great, but maybe we should stay on Earth. I'm a big loser. And I'm like...
I like that. That's what I'm talking about. I liked how he was just like, on my world, I'm a bit of a loser. But here... You and I, we can wreak so much havoc. I love that aspect because up to that point, Venom has only been badass. Do you know what I mean? So I love how that kind of like flips the script. Like, oh shit, he's only badass on Earth, and that's kind of why he wants to stop Riot. Like after like the sudden heel face turn thing.
Flip of the coin. Yeah.
Flip of the coin. Like, wow, what a sudden character. But then you look at it and it's just like, oh my god, he's had the time of his fucking life. Talking about Venom. Yeah. Venom has had the time of his life while attached to Eddie Brock eating people. And you're a loser on your home planet, why would you ever want to get rid of all the humans and put all the symbiotes on Earth or go back to your own planet? This is the best possible life you can live.
Yeah.
As Venom.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like the sudden character shift, and I was like, it kind of makes sense, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm. I really like
I just didn't like the line of dialogue, like, it was you that made me want to change it. It was definitely Venom's own. Yeah. Venom's own personal thing. He should have said, well, I just like being fucking cool. I just like having a fun time.
There was a little bit of that, too. And then, again, I think that when he's like, oh, it was you, Eddie, I think that was a lot of, like, the producers being like, we gotta make this movie have heart.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You should have just said, well, to be honest, I like eating people.
I think they pushed the PG-13 limits pretty far. As far as, like,
do you remember when he ate that guy's head off?
He bit some serious heads off. There was only one moment where he bit a head off and it cut away. Like, the rest of the heads were shown.
Do you remember the scene where Riot made big scythe hands and cut everyone in half?
I know. That bugs my mind how no blood, PG-13. You put a little bit of blood after someone gets obliterated, R. Like, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
When he cut that whole room of people in half,
he decapitated 30 people in 2 seconds.
My jaw wet.
Venom bit a guy off in 2 seconds and then threw his lifeless body to the ground after, like, killing 20 more SWAT agents. And you're going to tell me that's a PG-13? That's awesome. Holy shit.
There was okay. Listen, it's just like with Predator, how the movie wasn't good, but all the fun shit made me really excited. Mm-hmm. This movie, it sounds like I hate it. All the fun shit made me so happy.
Yeah.
And that's the important part, is I had fun.
We had so much fun.
And the movie, technically, there are great things in it, but most of it's good. Like, most of it's fine, most of it's acceptable. But I don't want acceptable, I want spectacular. I am a film critic.
That's why in the sequel, I want the same character of Venom to continue. Don't reboot it, don't sort of soft reboot it. Just make a direct sequel. Make a little bit better of a villain, a little bit better of a story.
Carnage has to be better.
And spend more money on the CGI. If it makes a lot of money, they're going to spend more money on it, obviously. Just, go nuts. Go nuts. I want, like, maybe an Edgar Wright to come in and just be like, all right, we're going to go fucking ballistic with this.
Edgar Wright wouldn't do it.
You sure? Because Sony's like, hey, we're not Marvel. We're not going to crank out, factory movies. We're going to, like, let our creators actually do something.
But this felt very studio.
This felt very studio. Maybe Sony will look at it and go, okay, maybe the next one needs to have more life. But then again,
Guillermo del Toro. Del Toro really likes making movies.
All of his movies that he directs have monsters in them. That's his thing. That's his shtick. He loves monster movies.
And how much budget did The Shape of Water have? How good did that fucking monster look?
Oh my god. Well, that was all practical. You cannot do Venom practically.
Sure you can.
Remember Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
When he was practical and it looked like shit?